As a new leader is in a new environment, and then you're dealing with individuals, some who may not trust you, some who may want to find out more about what you're about. Leaders are human beings, right? They have their own flaws. So you mentioned in the I believe you refer to it as the 8 dimensions. You
Mhm.
talk about inwardness, reflection, transparency. But isn't it difficult to be transparent, to be very honest, especially in the beginning when you're not sure how others are taking you?
Yeah, I think it's scary, right? Like that's one of those pieces of leadership that, willing to put yourself out there and be vulnerable before everybody else, right? So when I think about those initial steps, when you talk about that reflection, there, it really for to the leaders that we talked to, the ones that we interviewed in our own experience, there are kind of two pieces that were really important to that, right? The first is really knowing who you are, right? Like if you're going to put yourself out there, you got to be clear about what your values are. You've got to be clear about what your hopes and dreams are for the role, and you got to be clear about kind of what you're bringing to the mix, right? Like what are your strengths? What are the places where you might have blind spots? How can you be really clear about those pieces and start telling those stories? I find when it's about, what's that story? And when the purpose is to let people know a little bit about you, but then also really to learn about them, it reduces the some of that, what you're saying, that kind of that fear, that ability to make a mistake, right? Because what you're really trying to do is hear their story, hear what their hopes and fears are. What do they believe about this organization? Where have they been harmed by it? Where have they, felt that they were really able to contribute? And what brings them energy, puts them on fire in their work? And so I think when it's about that, and you're showing, there's nothing I'm going to ask you to do that I'm not going to do first. I'm going to make the first mistakes. I'm going to make the first 3, so you don't have to worry about it. Already taken care of. No one's going to laugh at you. I did it. We can all make mistakes here and learn. That's how you start to shift that culture. So yes, it's scary, and that's the work of a leader.